Hello, church. I miss you all because I've been learning all about our churches and hearing good preaching, and it makes me think how much we are blessed to have Cornerstone and the many riches we have as a church. As I talk to pastors, like I do every year, I come away thinking that we have an abundance of blessings and we have a great season of peace. I've learned a lot. I'm always refreshed by these general assemblies or these conferences wherever I go, and I get to speak to wiser men and to seasoned veterans of the fight. It's very encouraging. Well, today this is our second update from the 2016 ARBCA General Assembly, and it was a long day, but it was a good day, and we had several very powerful messages, and I had several very edifying conversations. I believe I have either spoken to standing up and passing or standing in line or sitting down to share a meal with almost all of the men in our regional association that were here. And so that's been very good, and I'm looking forward to getting to know them even better. And it was wonderful. Imagine my surprise when during a presentation the other day of ARBCA's new member churches, one of them put up on the screen a picture of someone being baptized, and it was somebody from our church. Well, somebody who used to go to our church until they moved. I saw the Niebauer family. What a blessing to see them in a good and sound church. And we knew they were there, but I didn't know it was whose church it was. And so it was a blessing to see that they are in an ARBCA church. We had a discussion about our confession. It was called A Defense of Confessionalism by Pastor Arden Hodgins. And if that name sounds familiar, it's because he is my teacher. Although he doesn't know it, he's my teacher with regard to our confession as I study and learn about our confession in his series on that. He talked about our confession being a very hermeneutical document and talked about how people say, well, what do you need a confession for? Aren't confessions just the makings of men? My confession is the Bible. Well, the fact is that's a confession of faith in and of itself. The thing he talked about was that a confession is an interpretive document. It's not so much that we have a confession. We believe the Bible to be true. Everyone believes the Bible to be true. The confession says, what do we say the Bible means? And there's a big difference there. What do we say the Bible means? Because you can ask 10 people from 10 different churches what the Bible means, and you're going to get 15 different answers. And so a confession is what we rally around as a hermeneutical document, as an interpretive document, as a consensus document, as a historical document that we can go back and look what those men meant in time. It's a good document. It's a biblical document. Some people will say, yes, I embrace the confession. Here's what I've heard even in our own church sometimes, is people will say, I embrace the confession insofar as it is biblical. And there's a problem with that statement because that basically says, I'll embrace our confession insofar as I agree with its interpretation. So basically we're saying, well, I'm the arbiter of all truth and I get to be the one who decides. A more proper statement would be, I embrace the confession because it's biblical, right? That says that I agree that its interpretation is correct and I stand with it. And so there's a difference. And that's what we're after as a church, is to be a confessional church, saying we stand with our confession. That is the document that we have agreed, we have studied, we've looked at, we have agreed that we stand on this document because we believe it is the best interpretation, the best representation of what the Bible teaches, what it means. And so we do actually unify around that document, and we find that if there are people who have exceptions to that document, well, it's not that we're being mean or anything, not that our church is excluding people, but they would exclude themselves because they say, well, I don't agree with that. And so it was a very nice, a very good discussion, very powerful discussion. I hope that it is somehow made available to audio. I'd like us to listen to that. So I'll probably have more to report on that either in our confession class itself. I might take part of our confession class to talk more about it. We also had a sermon from 1 John 2, 1 through 2 on propitiation, which was very good, and which, of course, is causing me to rewrite sections of my sermon for Sunday, possibly if I have time tonight. We talked also about, and here's my family. My family's home from Chicago. We talked about the tale of two associations revisited. Dr. Jim Renahan gave us a history of the First Baptist associations, and I'll have more to speak on that. It was very good. Our history is very rich, very storied, very much like our day. I mean, men are men. People are people, and the men who founded our forefathers are men like us, and they had their challenges, they had their problems. How did they get over those problems? They unified around not bending on sound doctrine. I'll have an update maybe tomorrow, maybe not. I'll let you know, but that's a little bit about what today was all about, and I'll talk to you later. Good night.